Right, all right, all right. Shabbat shalom, 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 peace. Welcome to another episode of DSTN. Don't shoot the messenger. This is Brother Ahmath. I acquired first name. IQ is all the same. Salute to all of the family that's in the house, man. The brothers and sisters that are contributing to the chat, man. Shalom to all of y'all family. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Prayerfully, everybody's doing well and is enjoying their rest day, their Sabbath day. Tuning in for another episode to get in some of this prophetic information, making sure that we're continually staying on point, staying in the spirit, fearing the Most High, keeping the commandments. That is the job. That's the objective until Yahweh Shah comes back, man, cracks the clouds and gets us up out of here. Gets us up out of here, man. So shalom to everybody that was in the chat. Got a lot to cover today, so we're going to get right into it, man. If you haven't already, make sure that you do your brother that solid, man. Hit that like button. Go ahead on. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Don't be bashful, man. Go ahead and hit that like button. Wipe your feet, man. Show some honor. Show some respect. You know what I'm saying? That's all we ask. Some of y'all are lacking right now. Some of y'all are lacking. I'm looking. I see. I'm watching. Some of y'all are lacking, man. You popping on in here, man. Rude as hell. Didn't wipe your feet. Bars down in the door. Crowbarred in your way in. You know, kick the door down. You ain't got to treat us like Esau over here. You know, we're not doing raids over here, man. We're not hiding migrants over here. All right. So don't do that. You gonna come in? Just wipe your feet, man. Hit the thumbs up. Let's get that algorithm clicking in. All right. So all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai. Another episode, man. Time to get it in. Time to get it in. Make sure you like and subscribe, share, do what you need to do, man. This information has got to get out, man. We're trying to gather these lost sheep of the house of Israel by any means necessary. Any means necessary, right? And the times are now where the leavening is starting to puff up, being shown. We're closing in on Passover. Matter of fact, towards the end, I'll make sure that everybody is aware of the calendar. I did share a community post with the dates and the downloadable calendar with the link. Some of y'all may have got the notification, some of y'all didn't. So we'll share that at the end to make sure everybody's on point in regards to keeping these feast days this coming year. New Year is coming up next month. So we want everybody to be on point, man. Part of our salvation and part of us keeping the laws is the ceremonial aspect, which is keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, the feast days, the holy days, as prescribed by the Most High. So that's important. Make sure y'all get that link at the end of the class. It's also in the description. It's also in the description of the video. All right. So we'll go over all of that towards the end. Got a lot to cover right now, so we're gonna get right into it. Let me share my screen here. Hold on. Let's see here. All right. So one thing we got to be aware of, and we're looking right now, right? You see the title of the video, man. Is there going to be peace? You see the thumbnail, man. Putin and Agent Orange, man, have had their powwow. They've had their hidden conference. They're trying to create a covenant of understanding regarding bringing peace. I told y'all last week. I was hearing and seeing some things online where they were talking about that Trump was going to enact peace talks with Putin. Imminently, they wanted the deal done by April. So within 60 days, they want to put an end to the war over there in Ukraine, right? So as prescribed, he got on the jack, called up Vlad and said, "Hey, look, we need to holler, man. I need you to get underneath my wing. I need you to go ahead and surrender some things." But it's not really working out in that same fashion, man. The short end of the stick is coming up under Ukraine. He's kind of cozying up to Putin in order to create this quote unquote peace deal. So the question always arises, man. Is there going to be peace? Were the Israelites wrong? Was IQ wrong? Talking about World War III and those other stuff, man. The saviors came. Agent Orange, man. Here he comes, Trump. He's going to bring peace on earth. He's the Messiah. Is that the case? We'll find out. We'll find out. First of all, man, let's be reminded. According to 1 Peter 5:8, the scriptures tell us to be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion. So first of all, we need to be consciously aware. We need to be soberly minded. Doesn't mean that you can't have a sip of wine, have a sip of some tequila, whatever your preference is. You can have a little sip of something. Scriptures say that you can drink for your often infirmities. The scriptures tell you that you can sip something. All right, so calm down. Don't be Christians up in here. If Christ's first miracle was changing water into wine, obviously he was pardoning your drinking. However, being a drunkard, that's a no-no. Overindulgence, that's a no-no. Encouraging your brother or sister to drink more and more, that's a no-no. All of those things are prescribed in the scriptures. Rising up early in the morning, sipping, that's a no-no. Anybody have any questions on that? We can go over the scriptures at another time regarding that. However, this scripture is speaking about being soberly minded, being aware, okay? Being vigilant. That means being on guard, cautiously approaching things that are coming up before you, right? Because why? Your adversary, the devil, an opposition force, is going to come in moves of deception. That's what a devil is, a deceiver. An adversary is someone who is against a particular cause, person, government, whatever, right? Someone that is against all manners of righteousness, an entity, a spirit, a people who's against all manners of righteousness are going to utilize deception, and they're going to do it ferociously as a lion that's looking about more prey, looking to conquer more territory, looking to conquer more peoples, looking to take down the innocents, all in the name of power, hunger, struggle, and to expand their pride. Isn't that what they call the flock of lions, the pride? Right? Isn't that what the so-called white man operates off of? And the scriptures tell us that pride is the beginning of sin. But he's roaming about seeking whom he may devour. He's looking for the weak, the vulnerable. He's looking for those that he can catch slipping. And I'm cruising around a little bit online. I'm hearing, there's a lot going on in Israel again with more deceptive doctrines popping up. That some Israelites are falling away, but that all goes into the spirit of Passover. That leavening is rising up, man. People's wickedness and evils and things of that nature are packing up, and you're always going to have a falling away or dispensation of Israelites that don't make it each calendar year. We always tell brothers and sisters, man, expect your Passovers to either have new faces or a lack of faces that you kept the Passover with last year. Many a times that happens. Many a times that happens, right? Because our adversary, the devil, he's walking about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And right now, he's got a whole media campaign. He's got all kind of things trying to deceive and tell everybody, "Hey, I'm doing things for the good. I'm draining the swamp. I'm doing." But meanwhile, it's just like you got a pool in your backyard, right? And it's been, covered with all kind of corrosion and wastewater that's all destructive, bugs, everything all in there. That's the swamp, man. You got water moccasins in there. You got the alligators in there. You got the turtles in there. You got mosquitoes, all manner of bugs, parasites. Everything's going on in this swamp. Now the chump says, "Hey, I'm going to clean it up," right? However, if you got a pool or whatever, you drain it out, you clean it up, you got to refill it with something. He's not coming back with more clean water. He's coming back with more swamp water. New swamp things is going to inhabit this thing. Guaranteed, right? But now's the time when he's looking about to seek whom he may devour. He's looking to take out individuals and souls, right? So we got to be aware. Got to be aware. This, we always talk about 1 Thessalonians 5, right? And 2. Let's read 1 down to 3. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. So Peter's acknowledged. He said, look, if you see the times and the seasons that we're in, you don't need me to tell you about it. If you're in tune in the spirit, if you're acknowledging, you're seeing what's going on in the earth, you're seeing what's happening through prophecy, you're seeing what's happening to the plight of our people, you're seeing what's happening with the government, you're seeing the downfall of America, all of that. Peter's saying the same things like, brethren, the times and the seasons, I don't need to tell you about it. You have no need that I write unto you. But however, he still has a job to do. He still has to bring it out. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, I'm going to end the wars very quickly, getting on the phone, right? Making these calls. You start seeing people, nations are cowering down and acquiescing to his demands, right? Peace and safety. Then when it seems like everything's going good, everything's going in the right direction. For those that ran out there and you voted for 47, you want the new president. He gave you all the promises. You say, see, he's making good on all those promises. See that he's bringing peace back. He's ending all the wars. Great. That's when you're supposed to be on your greatest alert. That's when you're supposed to be on your greatest awareness. Peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travaileth upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So clearly, all this peace talk ain't necessarily of the Lord or a right thing, right? 1 Peter 1:13 says, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober. See, that's what we were talking about in 1 Peter 5:8, about being soberly minded. Gird up the loins of your mind, right? So we got to have the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of faith, all those other things in Ephesians 6. that tells us what we need. See, the war is mental at this point. The physical. That's why we even make mention. You read about the curses, and it says, "He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee." That, there's no need for yokes of iron around the neck anymore. The yokes of iron, the forms of bondage, the chains, all go towards the mind. If the ignorance can be, imposed and oppress us in the mind with disinformation, hidden information, so forth and so on. I mean, that's what he's trying to do. That's what he's going to establish. Me and my family and I were talking about, this whole spirit of Valentine's Day that came down yesterday. I mean, right now in the information age, I mean, many of our people are aware of or should at least know about the pagan origins of it, Lupercalia, so forth and so on. However, they always continue to move the goalposts in regards to what does it mean? Oh, no, no, it's not about that anymore. It's just about showing love to your loved ones. Same way they do with Thanksgiving. Oh, it's not about the killing and the destruction and the genocidal of a people and the stealing of lands and the broken peace treaties and the horrors that came with the colonization of America. Oh, it doesn't have to do with that anymore. It's just about thanking God for everything, thanking your neighbor, thanking your friends, thanking your boss, for this meal that we're going to really eat. That's when what happens when somebody falls victim to those particular propaganda agendas and changing of the meanings of things. That's why the Most High said, man, full well, we reject the knowledge of the Most High that we can establish our own righteousness. That's what ends up happening. That's why the Lord said we have to gird up our minds mentally. We have to be prepared for everything that comes down the pipeline regarding these prophecies that are concerned, let alone the disinformation, a wave of folly that comes along with it. Because guaranteed, the so-called white man, he's going to pull out all the stops to try to thwart the awakening of our people, the gathering of the lost sheep, the sealing of the elect, right? Because this time is imminent. Yesterday afternoon, we went to go see Captain America, Brave New World. And when we left out, was asking my family, my son's like, what would you grade it? At first, I was like, I give it maybe about a 7. But as I was meditating on it more this morning, I'm boosting it up to a 9. And maybe 9.5. A lot of things I missed initially, and as the spirit came to me later, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Israel, end times, all of that could be inserted into that. If you haven't seen the movie, I'll give you some. I'll give you some time. Next week, most high willing, I'll do a spoiler alert. I'll share my thoughts on the movie and give you my reaction to it. Um, but I suggest you watch it. I do suggest you watch it. And we'll compare notes. We'll compare notes. Most high willing next week. All right. But the scriptures let us know that we got to gird up our loins, the loins of our minds, be sober and hope to the end of the grace that it is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Hamashiach Yahushua. So we have to be having our loins girded of our minds, right? Typically, your loins girded, you pulling up your breeches, strapping up the pistol belt. You got your knife holster, you got the mace, you got everything else, right? That's typically your girding up. You got your garments on. You got to do that for your minds now, right? Securing it with the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, counsel, might, fear of the Most High. Those principles is what's going to keep us safe. And it says, and at the end of our grace, which is the time period that we're under, he said, hold on, don't spoil it, people. I can't wait for Disney Plus, but I give you incentive to watch it. I give you incentive. See, there go UZL, man. See, you know what? Get out of here, man. Get out of here. I said we're comparing notes next week. Here you go. But there you go. Slocky, let me switch this view. All right. No, I don't want that. Where was I? Spoiling. Getting back to here, right? And to hope the end for the grace that is brought is to be brought unto you at the revelation of the Mashiach Yahweh. So there is no grace without Christ. Through his blood, we were able to have the grace and the mercies to be able to repent, seek the face of the Most High 10 times more, rectify our wrongs, and continually build upon those principles until Yahweh Shai comes back. That's the objective. Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Okay. Well, how long do y'all need? Y'all keep. Well, let me see it. Hold on, don't spoil it. I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but I definitely need to get it off before somebody else jumps out there and says, "Oh, spoiler alert," and y'all see it some other way. But just giving y'all some incentive. Go check it out. Go check it out. So nonetheless, right? And it might not. I might not even give you a complete spoiler alert. I just may give you something to look for as you watch the movie. You understand what I'm saying? Like you're going in with a particular mentality as opposed to searching and digging for what do they call them? The Easter eggs. Searching and digging for, what to watch, or just going in there for the entertainment value because you love Marvel movies. I'm putting you in a mind frame that girds your loins of your mind up when you go in there watching it. That you ain't wasting your money just on the entertainment value, but you're looking for the spiritual value as well. So might be a spoiler, but at the same time, take it for motivation. That when you go in there, you're like, okay, let me see if IQ's on point. But like, if I see what he said, oh, okay, I seen that. And you might grab some more stuff, right? Like I said, some stuff it didn't come to me till the next day, right? But there you go. So the end is that we're going to be brought under this grace into the revelation of the Mashiach outside. Point is, we got to gird the loins of our minds, be sober. Right now, we're at an all-time high of deception. That's a fact. Luke 21. Now we know that this is 70 AD, but this is dual prophecy, right? In regards to the end times, as we see it as well, because we see that the Son of Man is going to be coming in the cloud with power and great glory in verse 27. But so that lets you know this is going to be prophecy. But as we delve down to verse 36, now, matter of fact, let's jump up. And we'll read 32 down. It says, "Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled." ED, like just like with Matthew 5:17, 18. The Christians love to say, man, the law was fulfilled in Christ. We ain't got to keep it no more. No, ED means that there's a continuation until it's completed. All the prophecies have not been fulfilled. Isaiah, Jeremiah, you got Micah, you got a number of different prophecies that have not been fulfilled yet. Right. Amongst many others. Now, here we are seeing that Yahweh Shai himself said, there's not going to be a passing away of the generation, meaning there won't be an end of the people. There won't be an end of final destruction until everything's fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. So that's a declaration. He said, in other words, his words are going to stand even longer than heaven and earth. He said they can pass away, but the words is always going to be true. You can say whatever you want to say about the New Testament. You can say whatever you want to say about Christ. The words is going to be true, period. Proverbs 30:6 says that every word of the Most High is pure, right? We could pass away, but that doesn't mean this word. This is why this book is so long-standing and has become and has always really been the number one bookseller in the world. Remember, we covered an article a few months back where they were talking about Bible sales are increasing. And those who didn't, never invested in it, now they're all reaching for the Bible. Remember that whole little social media influencer girl, she was talking about she was nervous she was going to buy her first Bible, and that's because this word will endure forever until everything's fulfilled. Continuing on, it says, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unawares." See, that's why we get all of the distractionary things that come on your feeds, on your Instagram, your YouTube, your X feeds, and your what's the one, TikTok. You understand what I'm saying? Like This is why they make sure that those things are out there because he wants us to be caught unaware. The drunkenness, be it sober, be it spiritual drunkenness or be it physical. This is why they're, not concerned with the fentanyl, the pill popping, the liquor sales, everything else. This is why the scriptures say that the drunkenness, those things can't go down. The cares of this life, constantly consumed with money making, constantly consumed with how can I get by, how can I get over, how can I come up, how can I scam, how can I, you know, accelerate myself in this work field. The more you invest in America in this world, the more that you're giving your enemy a pass to extend his lease on life and his lease on this land and on this earth. I'm not telling you don't take care of your family, do what you got to do. But it all depends on how much you care about it. The cares of this life, right? You're fully invested in this world, man. You don't stand a chance. It doesn't matter. Let's look at that word surfeiting. Surfeiting, oppressing the system by excessive eating and drinking, cloying, gloating, and filling to disgust. See, overindulgence, doing too much, oppressing the system by excessive eating and drinking. What just happened last Sunday? And the results of that Super Bowl, even within the Israelite community, there was a whole hoopla about, Kendrick Lamar and his performance, which I'm not going to comment. I keep my opinions to myself. I thought it was a good performance for the most part. Um, and he was dropping some little gems in there, but nonetheless, that even was causing little ruffles in the feathers of Israel, and that's because there's too much care of this life with a lot of these jakes that's supposedly in the truth. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar knows he's an Israelite. Is he practicing Israelite? Is he maintaining the laws? Is he standing on business as far as pushing the Israelite agenda? No. You know the old saying with G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. Like knowing ain't enough. Is he still conscious and doing things? Yeah. But and putting in subliminal messages and things of that nature, sure. But his performance should not be drawing division within Israel about battling over who liked his performance, who didn't, and what are y'all missing, and da da da. You know, Israel should not be giving a damn about that. That has nothing to do with salvation, preaching the gospel, so forth and so on, and these laws, right? So the scripture is saying when our hearts become overcharged with surfeiting, well, now with inflation and everything else, that might calm a lot of people down from overindulgence and doing too much. But the cares of this life, because what this what the promises of Agent Orange is I'm going to make America great again. I'm bringing back the goose with a golden egg, and everybody's going to have jobs. We're going to be balling. Good times is here again. The Roaring 20s. Dig what I'm saying? Like that's what he's promising, and this is what people are looking forward to. They want to get back to the good old days when they had some money flowing in their pockets and they can get out and enjoy life and be proud to be an American again and wrap themselves in the American flag and all the other foolishness. Soon as all these things become apparent in your life, then that day comes upon you as unawares. It says, "For as a snare shall it come on all of them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Wherefore, ye therefore, and pray always." Hello? Scriptures tell us pray without ceasing, right? Pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. See, we got to be praying that we are able to escape, that we're worthy to escape these things before they come to pass, right? Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. Let me give one more scripture, and then we're gonna get to this PowerPoint. I got a lot to cover, so bear with me, y'all. If I move a little fast, tell me slow down. I missed it. I wasn't able to screenshot that. I wouldn't, you know, and I'll try to slow down a little bit, but got a lot to cover, and I want to be able to Still edify at the same time. And plus, y'all got replay value. You feel me? You got replay value. So it'll still work out. You ain't got to fret. All right, First Thessalonians 5. We're going to drop down. We're going to read 6 to 8. It says, therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Key things, right? So when things appear to be some way, that's what's going to put you to sleep. That's what these politicians do. If you date back all the way back to George Bush, baby Bush, his pops was pushing the NWO, right? He said, we're great ideas, a new world order, that he was getting ready to embark on furthering the agenda of the elites, right? Then he passes the torch to his son. Or was it no? Bill Clinton came in, rocked everybody back to sleep, playing the saxophone, saying he smoked weed but didn't inhale and all that other stuff. Black folks was quick to run around talking about George Clinton's George Clinton. Bill Clinton's an honorary black man and all this other foolishness, right? Gave him opportunity to jump in the fray. If I got my presidencies right, I'm pretty sure that it was Clinton that came after George Bush. Clinton comes down, baby Bush comes into play. And I believe, who was it? Obama took down baby Bush. Am I correct on that? Let me double check. I don't want to disrupt my frame of thought, right? There we go. Exactly. Okay. Big boy, 41. Clinton, 42. Baby Bush comes behind him, gets back on the agenda, initiates 9/11, the whole nine, weapons of mass destruction, all that other stuff, right? When everybody's on his head, remember, even Puffy was out there. George Bush doesn't like black people, and rock the vote and blah blah blah. Remember all of that? See, this is it. Everybody's getting turned up. Everybody's seeing what's happening. The agenda's becoming more clear. And then what? Put him to sleep with Clinton. Niggas was quick to anoint Bill Clinton an honorary Negro. He's on Arsenio Hall. He's playing the sax. He got had a little extramarital business in the White House. Lied in front of everybody's face. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. He got Lewinsky'd. You dig what I'm saying? And he got 8 years out the deal. Now they're like, okay, everybody's trusting back in the government again. Oh, throw back in the next demon. Here comes baby Bush. Herbert Walker. Was he Herbert Walker? No, he's Herbert Walker. These damn demons are sick of these bastards. That was Kanye that said that? I thought that was Puffy. Puffy was running out there talking about rock the vote, and then came back and said he didn't even vote. George Bush comes in. He turns everything up. 9/11, WMDs, the whole nine. Everybody starts saying, hold on, this ain't right. Politics is bad. Republican bad, blah, blah, blah. Here comes the next sleeping giant. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Put you in another trance. Yes, we can. You're getting sleepy. You're getting sleepy. Go back to sleep. Oh, yeah. Negroes are so excited. Thought the White House got turned black. Finally got a brother up in there. Yeah, he plays basketball. He listens to Jay-Z. He's one of us. Chicago. Then you start realizing, hold on, this guy was Hawaii. Born in Hawaii. What? Kenyan father, huh? Is he us? Oh, we don't know. What? Oh, gay marriage? Oh, LGBT? Oh, hold on. He's not for us. Oh, you don't like what he did? Well, we can make America great again. Come with me. I'm going to make sure all his wrongs are made right. See, you sleep. Oh, you're going to wake up again. Oh, here comes slow Biden. And he's a symbolization of sleep. He was sleeping to switch his whole presidency. Literally. So he put everybody back to sleep. And here they are trying to incite a whole new trust in the government again. Right? This is why the scriptures are telling us, man, hey, for they that sleep in the night excuse me, verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as others do, because that's the game, highs and lows. The hypnosis of the thought of your vote counting, you being part of this particular government, the fact that you're a tax-paying citizen and you can tell the police, hey, you work for me, and still get lumped upside your head and locked up and drugs planted on you and the whole nine, shot in cold blood. Like that doesn't work. That's for the sleep. Though those who were continually sleeping, thinking that is real. What's that Edomite George Carlin said that the American dream is just that, because you got to be asleep to believe it. Paraphrasing his joke, he said that the American dream is just that because you got to be asleep to believe it. Right? It's a big club and none of us are in it. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep in the night and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. That's girding up our loins of our minds. Right? That's important. That's important. So let's see. Is there going to be peace? Is there going to be peace? Let's see. Now, we see what ended up happening. Now, this was interesting too, because you've seen the headlines and the videos of Trump saying, "Hey, look, when Hamas called off the hostage situation, the peace deal, the ceasefire deal, and they said they're not going to release any more hostages because the Israelis broke the covenant." How could they? They're the Lord's people. They're honest and trustworthy people, man. God's chosen. They would never lie. They would never deceive. They would never break a covenant, would they? They said that they were not getting the relief, food and supplies and all the other stuff as promised. So Hamas was like, look, y'all already breaking the damn deal. The peace deal was only been in effect for a few weeks. And you already breaking and lying. Stop. We ain't giving up no more hostages. That's out. Everybody seen Agent Orange jump on there and spoke on behalf of the ceasefire deal and said, oh, if they don't want to give up all the hostages, I'm not talking about 1, 2 here, 3 there. I'm talking all of them. By 12 o'clock Saturday, let all hell break loose. Remember that? Y'all heard that? Hell is set to be unleashed. Israeli Prime Minister takes up Trump's office to decimate and defeat Hamas if they do not release all capitals, hostages on Saturday, and U.S. President says terror group won't make the deadline. So this was the initial headline. I said, oh, should I go live and breaking news? And, Hamas said they ain't giving it up. The ceasefire deal's over. Here comes more war. No. This is why I only do DSTM once a week now. I used to do them like 3 times a week. I said, no, let everything play out. Let the Spirit dictate how the Most High wants to move this thing. So this was the initial thing. Hey, all hell's going to break loose come Saturday. And even during that time, I'm like, oh, I can't wait till Saturday. I was happy when I heard they said we're cutting off the ceasefire deal and we ain't letting the hostages go. I was like, oh, yeah, that didn't last long. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, yeah. And then Trump doubled down and said, well, let all hell break out if it goes down. And the Israelis jumped right behind Trump and was like, yes, sir, we're ready to do it. We're moving in. They started moving in troops closer to Gaza again. They was ready to get it on again, right? And as y'all know, Hamas bowed down and said, okay, hold on. We'll get back to scheduling releases of the hostages. You tell me, come on, man. If you don't believe that the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked and who is calling the shots, you got to be a damn fool, man. As I said before, man, if you can't see it, man, your brain can't analyze it, you might need a lobotomy. You might need a head trauma surgery, because there's no way in the world you can't see who's running the earth, who's calling the shots in the world. All he said, laid out a veiled threat. Damn near 4 words. All hell break loose. And they said, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, okay, okay. We'll get back to 3. Now, mind you, he said, I want them all freed by 12 o'clock. But that wasn't the original deal. So they're slowly but surely letting him go. So he can't, fully impart everything, but hey, Ishmael jumped right back on board and said, all right, I don't want no smoke. Okay, calm down, boss. Calm down. Right. So they went back and they let go 3 people today, earlier today, paving the way to resolve a ceasefire dispute. Hamas said Thursday would release 3 more Israeli hostages as planned, paving the way towards resolving a major dispute over the ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. Hamas had threatened to delay the next release of captives, accusing Israel of failing to meet its obligations to allow intensive shelters, among other alleged violations of the truce. Israel, with the support of U.S. President Donald Trump, had threatened to renew its offensive if hostages were not freed. Now, there was no mention of whether or not the Israelis, the small hat GMO Jews, if they were actually in violation. Well, was there an investigation regarding that to find out if the detention, the shelters, and the food rations and everything else was actually being violated? I don't think so. I never read nothing. I ain't seen a video, news report, nothing saying, hey, you know what? Hey, Hamas is right, but the Israelis are out there violating. Check them. No, you don't hear that. Because of America and Agent Orange's undying love for the non-organic GMO small hat community. The bond and the covenant that they have is unbreakable. They can do no wrong. They weren't checked regarding whether or not Hamas had a valid, dispute. No. All they knew is, you better do what we say or else. That lets you know also, man, that the Arabs can't be Esau. Because Esau is the one who will have power over the earth like that. Let's look at Proverbs 28, verse 15. It says, as a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. So if you just see the disparity of economics between the Arabs over there and the small hats, I mean, it's pretty apparent who the poor people are over there. Right? And as a roaring lion, what did he do? He came out barking immediate aggressive orders. If they don't release them, I'm not talking 1, 2, 3, little here, that I want all of them. Let all hell break loose. So, as a roaring lion ranger, this is the characteristics of what type of ruler? A wicked ruler. You need no more adjectives to describe the man sitting on the throne right now. The rest of the world is seeing it. While he's posing as the savior, posing as the one who's going to liberate, bring back free speech, everything else, that's the objective of when he's speaking fair, believe it or not. He can speak fair. He will speak truth sometimes. But guess what? You still can't trust him because there's 7 abominations in his heart. The scriptures say that their tongue's going to fall on themselves. So he's going to be forced to admit, tell, reveal, but he's going to scramble so hard to cover it all up and do some more wickedness, man, to maintain his particular order in life and in the world, that he can't be trusted. As the Palestinians are finding out. Moving on. Now look at this. He says, Trump says the Palestinians wouldn't have a right to return to Gaza. Now, this is so wild because he's, went out on a limb and said that they're going to take over Gaza. It's going to be America with, building a Riviera and all that other stuff, right? Now he's already, and remember last week he played the video, he said they can't come back. And in the same breath said that they were going to make it bigger, better, and for the people there, they're going to have jobs in the whole nine. Well, who's going to re-inhabit that land? See, the cold part is we talked about the Ben Gurion agenda and the Ben Gurion canal last week. in their efforts to try to, you know, take the land over. But the cold part is that all of this is all going down because this struggle is them fighting over our land. They're talking about the damn Gazans. They can't return back to the land. First of all of them is about to get the hell up out of there. But that just shows you the arrogancy to the so-called white man. That he's saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to kick you out. The land's all jacked up now. The original people, we've already been removed by the will of the Most High through our rebelliousness and ignorance of the law and our wickedness. We've already been removed." And Isaiah 1:7 tells us what? Your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land, strangers devoured it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. So the whole landmass that we're seeing over there was initially ours. And now strangers are devouring it in our presence. They're over here, he's over here making dibs and talking about that's going to be America's now. And the people that's living over there, you can't come back. It's not yours anymore. Well, first of all, if we want to keep it real, I mean, Zephaniah 2, the original inhabitants would be the Canaanites. They inhabited that land first, not the damn Ishmaelites. It's not theirs anyway, let alone it's not the small hats. It's not America's. Zephaniah 2, before the Most High gave it to us. Zephaniah 2, it says, "For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Askelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast." And that's what Gaza is the coastal city. That's why they want that Ben Gurion Suez Canal, so they can get the trade routes jumping off in competition to the Suez Canal. It's worth billions of dollars. Woe to the inhabitants of the seacoast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of Yahweh is against you, O Canaan. So these are the original inhabitants, the Canaanites, the Hamites. The land of the Philistines, I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant. So this is what it's talking about. Gaza, Philistines, the Canaanites, that's who was originally inhabiting those lands. Now here he comes talking about you're going to get up out of there. Let me get you one more precept for that. Is it Isaiah? No. Jeremiah. Jeremiah 47:1. See this? The word of Yahweh that came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Philistines before the Pharaoh smote Gaza. So the Philistines were initially inhabiting Gaza. So if anybody got a right to complain, should be the damn Hamites. But they ain't got a skin. They ain't got a skin in the game because that land was given to us. See, this is why we're seeing that even the essences of the scriptures, where the Holy Land is being fought over, because of the prophecies and because of the inheritances that was given to us, right? This is why we read the scripture last week, Job 24, and we're going to read verse 2 and 3, Job 24. Actually, we'll read them 1 down 3. It says, "Why seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty? Do they not know him? Do they not know him, not see his days?" So, the people don't understand and see that the day of the Lord is upon us, that we're seeing what's happening in the prophecies and the judgments. While they're being ignorant to the ways of the Most High, what are they doing? Some remove landmarks. They violently take away flocks and feed thereof. So this is the things that the so-called white man does. This is what you call the actions of a colonizer. So as the chump is out here telling them, hey, you can't come back. Reading verse 3, they drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. Trump says the Palestinians wouldn't have a right to return to Gaza. Just imagine if that was your land. Somebody came to you've been living in your house for whatever, the last 60, 70, 80, 100 years. Now, mind you, again, none of these people are the rightful owners. Y'all all know that. However, for argument's sake, you've been squatting in this spot for years now. And then here comes somebody else, another homeless cat, man, and pops up in there and says, hey, man, I need you to get on out of here. And you say, I'm not leaving. So they start firebombing your house. They throw Molotov cocktails, the whole nine, man. Burning you down, forcing you up out of there. Fire department comes, puts it out. The structure's still there, everything's still good, it can be rebuilt. And the people who firebombed it and cherry, and Molotov cocktail your crib, they're standing out there saying, well, look, you can't come back over here. This is not your house anymore. This is my house. There's some better, abandoned spots down the way. Go find yourself down there. Would you just get punked out of it and just be like, yeah, fine, take my crib, I'm out of here. It's all ran down anyway. Or would you fight to say, hell no, I put a lot of time, effort into this spot, man. And matter of fact, it's still rebuildable. I want my land. I want the house. That's essentially what the so-called white man is coming in. And Trump is in there talking about you can't come back. He's saying that they're going to get much better housing in neighbor countries. Where? He tried to compromise, Jordan and Egypt. And we seen last week, all the Middle Eastern countries in Europe are saying, hell no, that ain't fair. We don't like that. Where's much better housing at? They ain't worried about what they want is that land. President Trump said Palestinians wouldn't have the right to return to Gaza under his new plan to rebuild the territory, adding that they would get, quote, much better housing instead in neighboring countries. That's gentrification at its finest, man. They came down and watched, man, tore down the damn Jordan Downs historical projects and watched, although known for much wickedness, gangbanging, the whole nine. However, it was a safe haven and a rest haven for many of Black and Hispanics for decades upon decades. They came down, chopped it down, man. They got damn near condos and new streets flowing through there and gentrifying the whole spot, man, displacing everybody and then giving them little housing vouchers saying you can either come back to these new homes or at higher rent and everything else, or you can go get up out of here and go to Palmdale and hey, there's better stuff out there. As you've been displaced out of a historical place that your generations of your families grew up in, and that's just one place. They do that all over the place, gentrifying, telling you that the grass is greener on the other side. Well, if that's the case, why don't you go over there? What do you want my old rundown land for? Oh, it's strategic. They know what they're doing. He's talking about, in other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them because if they have to return now, it will be years before they could ever. It's not habitable. Yeah, no. See, that's the devil in the details, man. How you're going to build them a permanent place where? How long is that going to take? The same time that you're going to take to build up a new place for them to live, you could rebuild up Gaza. I mean, don't play the dude coming in here playing these games. Oh, if they come back, it's going to be years before you could ever. It's not habitable. As if the war is over and they're doing the good thing. It could be years before it happens. Oh, but they're so ready to build up some new slumlord spots for them to go inhabit, right? See, that's the wickedness that's apparent going on up here. This is what it's all about. And you even got the fake, GMO little hat guys over there, proclaiming that this is really what they're trying to do. They want to expand, they want the land. So if we read according to Genesis 15:18, this is the original boundaries of Israel, not this little strip right here. That's not ours. That's not only ours, I should say. All of this is ours. As we see here, Genesis 15:18, to your descendants I give this land from the river of Egypt to the great river Euphrates. So the Egyptian river, the Nile, all the way over here to the Euphrates. This is all the encompassing of our land, right? This is all ours. So this is what they want. This is what they're trying to reestablish. Because of its holy nature, because of the resources, because of the things that's there, this is why they want to fight over our land. And you see, the Trump is already imposing his will, saying, you can't come back. This is ours now. Look at the scripture in Proverbs 22:28. It says, remove not the ancient landmark, which thy fathers have set. See, the so-called white man, he's came in, he's already removed all the landmarks. He's already reestablished new boundaries and already telling who can go where. These are ancient landmarks that the Lord set forth. That land is not going to be fully inhabited by the Lord's chosen people until Yahweh Shai come back. So-called white man is thinking he can do it now. With the help of the chump, with the help of the small hats, with the help of the money, they thinking that we're going to get this back slowly but surely. You're going to have to go to war. And that's how America is going to use the small hats as a proxy army to initiate these wars. Because remember, the chump said that Iran was one of the only nations that he could negotiate with because of the holy nature and the religious nature of their warfare. So what better pawn to use on a religious level to fight the Iranians than the small hats? And then meanwhile, Agent Orange can funnel in all the resources of America, the army, the whole nine, to initiate the Valley of Jehoshaphat, World War III, so forth and so on. Because he can't stand on the grounds of tariffs and so forth and so on with Iran. He's like, look, that's not going to affect these people. These people are diehard religious fanatics for Islam, Muhammad, Shiite, Sunni, doesn't matter. You know, they're unifying over there. As we speak, they used to beef. They got a little unification going on. China, and they helped them negotiate that a few years ago. So the chump is saying, well, look, if it's got to be on the religious bounds, I got to continue using my relationships with the small hats to use them as a proxy army to get things cracking. Because then we'll be able to expand our influence, expand our regional dominance in all of this land. That's what they want. They want it all. Psalms 105. And let's drop down. We're going to read verse 42 down to the end. It says, for he remembered his holy promise and Abraham his servant. Speaking about the Most High, they were talking about everything that went down in Egypt. Post Egypt in the valley, in the desert of Sinai. That's where you see here, he opened the rock, waters gushed out, they ran in the dry places like the river. It talked about the quails, all of the miracles that the Most High provided for the children of Israel while we was in the Sinai Peninsula. Why did he do all this? It says, because he remembered his holy promise and Abraham his servant, and he brought forth his people with joy and his chosen with gladness. Speaking about the Israelites, what else did he do? Verse 44, and gave them the lands of the heathen. That was our inheritance. The lands of the heathen, the Canaanites that was there, you're out of there. Same way they're inhabiting our lands right now, Amalek, Ishmael, you're going to get up out of there. While they're scrimmaging and trying to fight over the land thinking that is theirs, this is the objective that we're seeing that the so-called white man is trying to impose under the name Donald Trump. Oh, we're going to get the land, we're going to build a Riviera, blah, blah, blah. No. All that is coming back to the rightful owners. Verse 4, and gave the lands of the heathen, and also what? And they inherited the labor of the people. So what comes along with the lands is the labor, i.e. the servitude of the people. So that's why we see in Isaiah 14 that we're going to take the people whose captives we were, and we're going to have servants and handmaids, because that's a package deal. The land and the people is a package deal for the children of Israel as an inheritance. And they inherited the labor of the people, that they might observe his statutes and keep his laws. Praise ye Yahweh. See, that's the objective. Once we get back into this frame of mind, frame of thought, practicing, this comes with it. We're getting that land back. They're going to serve us. But we have to keep the laws and observe the statutes. That's how it goes. All right. So this is why they're doing it over the promised land, man. This is how, everything is surrounded around us, our land. Right. Continuing on. So that's what we're seeing happening over there with Gaza, seeing what's happening with Israel. Now we're seeing what's going on with the whole Ukraine Russia situation. This is important. This is key as well because this is what's on the forefront. He's trying to knock down one thing at a time. Him and Putin had a cold little conversation. They said they worked out, everything was great, and uh, it's looking like a peace deal's on the table. So look at this. Zelensky says Ukraine will need U.S. help to boost army if it can't join NATO. So Zelensky was already told, look, you ain't joining NATO, that's out. So he's saying, well, if you cut off you cut off my funding, you're telling me I can't join NATO, but I need your help. If we do call off the war, I still need security. I need security help and assurances. So look, Zelensky said Ukraine would need the U.S. to help it build up an army as big as that of Russia to serve as a plan B if its country is not admitted into the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So he's saying, look, this dude thinks he's got the power to negotiate terms. So he's saying, well, if I can't join NATO, man, you need to help me build my army up as big as Russia. Are you crazy? Russia has the number is the biggest nuclear power on the earth. He's saying he wants an equivalent to that. He's saying he needs the troops, he needs the weaponry, he needs the technology. You think he's getting that? This dude think he's holding all the cards. Strong delusion. But let's continue. It says Kiev, which has been locked in an all-out war with invading Russian forces since February 2022, has said that joining NATO would be the strongest, cheapest way to prevent Russia launching a new invasion on it after ceasefire or peace deal is reached. If Ukraine is not in NATO, it means that Ukraine will build NATO on its territory. So we need an army as numerous as the Russians have today, Zelensky said in an interview with The Economist published on Wednesday. He said, and for all this, we need weapons and money, and we will ask the U.S. for this. That's his plan B. So he's saying, if there's a peace deal, this is the terms that I want that I need. Now, notice he already said, I'm not with this peace deal because Trump ain't even talking to me. All he's doing is talking to Putin as if he's, the only one who can speak on this matter. Isn't it both of us, going back and forth with each other? Shouldn't he be speaking to both sides? That should let him know something, that he's irrelevant as a puppet in this conversation. He's thinking he can go out there and call some shots, right? Let's move on. Trump official says, now this is what Trump is cold. This is his response to them. Trump official says minerals deal will give Kiev post-war security shield. So they say in typical colonizing fashion, even with his own people, well, if you want security promises, you're sitting on a lot of resources over there. You're sitting on a lot of rare earth minerals, and you got a nice little bread basket going on over there. How about you break bread with us? We want some of them minerals. We want some of them resources. Get them things up, and we'll give you a security shield. So, in the art of negotiating, here goes the Trump. Here goes Trump. It says, "Hey, you want some security? Give us that land." U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said on Wednesday that a minerals deal between Kiev and Washington will provide Ukraine with a post-war quote security shield. President Volodymyr Zelensky said he hoped to reach an agreement within days. So not only is part of the peace deal, he's got to give up certain parts of the land over to Russia. Now he's also going to have to give up minerals and resources for America. They completely punking him. They want it off, and they about to drain him out. But we're going to see if he's going to ride with it or not. But said the first cabinet level official on Donald Trump's team to visit Kiev spoke after Zelensky said he was ready to do a deal to open mineral resources to the U.S. investment as he vies for the U.S. president's backing in the war against Russia. Trump, who wants a rapid end to the war but has not made clear if he will continue vital military aid to Kiev, has said he wants $500 billion in rare earth minerals from Ukraine and that Washington support needs to be secured. So That dude is cold as hell. $500 billion worth of rare earth minerals. He's saying, look, you want security, man? 500 billion worth of them minerals, man, is ours. It's gonna be America's now. You want that? You need you with that? So that's the terms. Look, Ukraine prepared to offer territory swap if Russia, Zelensky says. So, Zelensky's trying to negotiate. Hey, we'll give up some of our territories, but let's not go crazy. I haven't even gotten on the phone yet with the chump, man. I'm trying to bet. I'm trying to, you know, give a little bit. Work with me. America is not holding back, man. This dude said, man, I want 500 billion worth of rare minerals. I want to be able to drain you of everything over there. And you're gonna give some land over to Russia so that I can keep them nukes off my back. Man, where's slow Biden when you need it, man? Where is slow Biden when you need him? 6, 8 months ago, man, hey, Putin was arming up the nukes. He was getting ready to rock and roll. And the chump comes in and says, look, man, I need them nukes off my back, man. So look, if I give you some give you some land over there, because I'm trying to get the minerals over there, let's work together so we can get this figured out. That's how the devil works, man. As a temporary deal, remind you, he only got 4 years. Three and a half years, 4 years, right? Then he's out of there. So he's trying to maximize everything he can so he can go out on a legacy of saying, look how much and look what I did. Trump always loved to take credit for every damn thing. So Zelensky's offering some land to try to, get to a ceasefire deal. But look at this. Now Zelensky's saying, hold on. I'm making no grounds with the chump. I'm making no grounds with Putin. I need to go and plead to Europe now. Look at it. On the march, Zelensky calls for a, quote, army of Europe to take on Russia without the U.S., as Trump urges him to make a deal with Putin. So Zelensky is in defiance now. He's looking towards the EU. He's looking towards NATO. Because remember, Europe is mad with America too now. Remember last week, we was looking at different aspects of what could be the calling for the 10 horns to hate the whore. And Obadiah 1 saying all those that were in league with him. Basically stab him in the back, paraphrasing that scripture. Obadiah 1, I think it's 6 or 7. The conflict between the 10 horns and the whore is becoming more apparent. So that's why we get back to the beginning. Will there be peace? Zelensky's now saying he wants to get an army of Europe to ride with him against Russia in defiance of America. Ukraine's, quote, brave. Come on, man. That's out, man. This dude was wearing heels, doing coke and all kind of madness. He's brave, though. President Volodymyr Zelensky has today called for the creation of a, quote, army of Europe to take on Russia. Zelensky spoke about his ambitions to create a continental military force at the Munich Security Conference, as he blasted Vladimir Putin a, quote, liar, weak, and predictable. So does that sound like the makings of a peace deal, ceasefire deal, when one party is like, man, that dude's weak, he's a liar, he's predictable. Matter of fact, I'm trying to rally the troops. If I can't get my way with America, America's not going to bow down and give me security, and make my army as big as his. They're talking about they want our minerals and everything else. F that. I'm going over here to Europe. I'm going to beg and plead for them for help. And we want to get a European army. The 47-year-old Ukrainian leader made the comments as he notably was left out of Washington's involvement in his European army dream. It comes amid Donald Trump urging Ukraine to find a resolution to the end of the war quickly. President Trump has already shared a phone call with both Zelensky and Putin, with all three men looking to agree to a peace deal. Tyrant Putin is expected to make a number of deranged demands when he finally meets Trump for a Ukrainian peace talk. Deranged demands. America asking for $500 billion of rare earth minerals. That's not a deranged demand. when you're supposed to be the peacekeepers of the free world? Aren't you supposed to be just doing it off of the basis of humanity and peacekeeping and all that other stuff, like helping the helpless? No, 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 not without profit, not without gain. So, Army of Europe is being called for. Look, Putin Trump phone call shows, quote, Europe's time is over, Russia's Medvedev says. So, Russia is saying Europe is finished. So now we're seeing the Europe and the European countries, they're being isolated. Russia and America are between East and West trying to negotiate a peaceful time so that they can both profit. But at the same time, that's not going to work because we know Donald Trump is against the BRICS and the faction of economy that they're trying to establish. The BRICS is against the American dollar. So there's still going to be an economic war, trade war. There's still going to be wars that go on between them. If there's a peace deal ever accomplished out of this thing, there's still going to be enemies. There's still going to be issues. But now it's shifting towards the 10 horns. What's going to ignite the 10 horns to start getting upset? Now we're seeing some of the elements of that. Europe is jealous and angry of the phone call between Russian President Vladimir Putin and his U.S. counterpart, Donald Trump, because it shows that its power on the global stage has been weakened. Russian security official Dmitry Medvedev said on Thursday. So let's just look at that one more time real quick. See that? So Revelation 17, 15, 16, this is the revealing of the mother of harlots, the great whore, the 10 horns, 7 heads, 7 kings and all of that. All being shown here. NATO, the EU, is that European stronghold, of which they're talking about, these 10 horns. It says, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples, multitudes, and nations and tongues. So when it says that the whore was sitting on the sea, the seas is the nations, sitting on dominance of the world, peoples, tongues, nations, the great melting pot, right? Sitting and controlling the earth. Nations and so forth and so on are incumbent of those things. Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. So those 10 horns, again, is the EU and NATO. Some may call it the European Economic Community. All of them is surrounded around European power dominant structures. So the EU, again, we went over that last week. You want to double back, go check that out. But those 10 horns, the initial EU was set up through 10 nations. They got 10 configurations of meetings that they go through. Everything is surrounded around 10 and certain aspects of the level of the business that they deal with. And now it's saying they're going to hate the whore. Oh, they've fallen out of love with this booch. They've fallen out of love with this booch. Right? And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Imagine that. Burn her with fire. Jeremiah 50. And let's read 14. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against Yahweh. See, these are all the nations that have the ability to initiate nukes, warfare, and they're all going to be pointed against Babylon. All those that used to be in alignment with them, you know, we looked at this before. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound unto thee. There is none understanding in them. So all the nations that were eating deliciously with, America, all the merchants of the earth, kings of the earth, like it says in Revelation 18, 17, 14, 16, You know what I'm saying? Like there's going to be a betrayal of covenantal agreements with them, and we're going to see it. Now we're seeing slowly but surely the makings of it. So Russia's jumping off the bridge, saying, "Hey, look, they're jealous, they're angry, but their time is over with. The power structure that was set up upon European principles and dominance, that's out of here, and they're afraid that they're losing a grip." JD Vance, the vice president, stuns Munich conference with blistering attack on Europe's leaders. Also, JD Vance goes over there as the mouthpiece of the great whore and got on Europe and its values and so forth and so on, right? So he's going over there rebuking them. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance has launched a brutal ideological assault on Europe, accusing its leaders of suppressing free speech, failing to halt illegal migration, and running in fear from voters' true beliefs. So this is interesting enough because you got to read between the lines because I think the Prime Minister of Germany, we're gonna look at that next. He came back and rebuked him and was like, "Look, you coming over here with these alt right, ideologies, man, and when we were shutting down, there's one particular faction, alt right faction in Germany that they were shutting down because they were pro, the man with the HITLER. They were, they're not opposed to some of his views. Let's just put it like that. JD Vance is saying, well, let them speak. Hey, freedom of speech. Let them do what they want to do. They had. You remember when Elon went over there and gave the salute? They're saying let all that happen because if you notice, man, the chump is trying to influence the resurrection of Germany and wants them to get back on code. South Africa, with their history of apartheid and so forth and so on, because he's got Elon from South Africa. I think Peter Thiel, which is plays a role in his little, I think that the crypto cabinet, the money markets, whatever he got going on with that. He got like 3 or 4 cats from South Africa in his cabinet. Migrants, same people he say he don't like. uh, Let me see. I know they said there was a. When was this? November? Imagine that. Now, I mean, they said he got 3 people of color. Are they black? Or are they talking about Slacky? I got. Oh my goodness. Donald Trump promised victory electoral arena made heavy gains. Blah blah blah. I got distracted real quick. I'm saying he got three black people on this cabinet. I can't call it. I thought maybe they had. Well, they said okay. Marco Rubio. Okay. Are we claiming Marco Rubio, y'all? Uh, who is it? Alberto Gonzalez. So it looked like he got a couple of Northern Kingdom, but I don't see no Southern. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, I was trying to see if the South Africans that he got served under. If y'all know, throw it in the chat, man. I know Elon. Uh, who else? Yeah, he's trying to get that land back to the white people over there. Them Zulus over there ain't playing that in South Africa. Uh, Arrow South African born oligarchs in the U.S. There's a few of them, man. I know I've seen at least 3 or 4 of them, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. Um, yeah, but if y'all do the research on it, you'll see. Outside of Elon, there's about 2 or 3 more he got over there. But in other words, man, he's trying to erect white supremacy globally. Uh, he wants to resurrect, not only resurrect, but wants to continually empower the small hats over there in the Middle East. So they have white dominance over there. He wants to, empower South Africa and, erase the memories of apartheid and all of that over there. He's trying to get Germany on board, you know, and that's why he sent JD Vance over there to try to do some shock and awe with them. And we'll continue on with this. So we see what's happening. He's trying to create a broad base of white supremacy all throughout the world and going at the ancient countries that would stand behind, these particular values in certain areas, right? Says in the chastising speech on Friday that openly questioned whether current European values warranted defense by the U.S., he painted a picture of European politics infected by media censorship, canceled elections, and political correctness. So he's saying, look, you got to suppress, let free speech ride. You got to stop illegal migration. You got to make sure all them brown people get up out of there, and stop running in fear of your voters. Stop being so concerned about, World War II and the camps and everything else. You're walking on eggshells, man. Forget all that. Be who you are. He's arguing that the true threat to Europe stemmed not from external factors such as Russia or China, but Europe's own internal retreat from some of its, quote, most fundamental values. Oh, get back to how you used to be. How was Europe, treating so-called black people then? Well, I think back to King Ferdinand and Isabella. I'll talk about the Spanish Inquisition, the booting out of the so-called black Jews out of Portugal and Spain, and the torturing that was going on. Is that the time when Europe was great? What fundamental values is he trying to get back to? Let's look at this. German Chancellor rebukes Vance for supporting party that downplays the other N word. So that's what that's what he's saying. You want us to support this particular party that is downplaying the so-called how much it cost and the role that the mother N-words play. So look at it. Chancellor Olaf Scholz of Germany on Saturday accused Vice President JD Vance of unacceptably interfering in his country's imminent elections on behalf of a party that has downplayed the atrocities committed by the N-words 80 years ago. A day after Mr. Vance stunned the Munich Security Conference by telling German leaders to drop their so-called firewall and allow the hard right alternative for Germany, or the AfD, to enter their federal government. Mr. Schloss accused Mr. Vance of effectively violating a commitment to never again allow Germany to be led by fascists who could repeat the horrors of the Holocaust. So he's saying, look, JD Vance, mind your business. You're coming over here telling us that we should allow the alternative for Germany, or the AfD, this alt-right, right-wing group, to have power in the government. We're telling them, hell no, you can't come up in here with them ideologies, and that's not happening. JD Vance is saying, what's wrong with that? Get back to your old values. Get back to, freedom of speech. Let's get rid of these immigrants. Let's get to it. And he's trying to hold on like, nah, we're not going to repeat what went down before. It took us over 80 years to shake that reputation, and we still got that cloud over our head. You want us to get back to that? That's what he's talking about. But he's speaking on behalf of the mother of harlots, JD Vance. He's speaking on behalf of the great whore. This is the dominance that they're trying to establish throughout the world. A commitment to never again is not reconcilable with the support for the AfD, Mr. Schloss said in the conference on Saturday morning in an address opening the gathering's second day. Does this sound like peacetime that we're entering in right now? You know, if Satan cast out, what does the scripture say, man? A kingdom divided against itself can't stand. The so-called white man's kingdom is in disarray. Disarray. Complete division. Moving on. Europe braces for a future without the U.S. as a reliable ally. Oh, look at that. So is there a separation between the 10 horns and the mother and the great whore? Is there hate developing? Oh, yeah, we see it now, right? European allies are bracing this week for the answer to a question they've been dreading to ask. Can they really count on the U.S.? So they're preparing for a future without a reliable ally. Let's move on. Britain warned it must be ready to go to war with Russia. Uh-oh. Imagine that. So if they get out of Ukraine, here comes the next thing that's coming down the pipeline. If Britain gets involved, NATO gets involved, then where does America stand? Is America going to hold its values with their allegiances with NATO? They have to. They have to. European leaders are scrambling to respond to Donald Trump's announcement yesterday that he discussed a plan to end the war with Ukraine with the Russian president. So, in like fashion, with Esau living by the sword, they can't live in peace. As soon as they get to talking about peace one way, they got to incite a war somewhere else. They got to incite disarray somewhere else. In the House of Commons on Thursday, MPs sharply criticized the move, comparing it to Neville Chamberlain's ill-fated appeasement campaign that failed to stop the Second World War. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has also drawn a stark line between the U.S. president's position and his own, saying, quote, "There's no negotiation about Ukraine which doesn't include Ukraine." So this is when they were saying, well, how are you negotiating peace deals and you're not including Ukraine? So supposedly, Agent Orange had a phone call with him. We don't know if that's true or not, because Zelensky clearly has been running rampant saying, I got to go to Europe now. So if they did have a phone conversation, Trump probably gave him some ultimatums like, look, you got no legs to stand on here. You want our help? We want them resources over there. You're going to give up some land over here to, you're going to give some land concessions back to Russia. And, we'll make sure that you're secure from here going forward. You won't have no more problems from them. But we're going to drain your land. We'll call off the dogs. And you're not getting no more money and no more assistance from us. How's that sound? Obviously, he's like, well, I'm out of here. I got to go to Europe for help. Nothing's happening over there. They're not going to get my back. So now we're hearing him go back calling for an army of Europe. Britain is saying we got to get ready to go to war then, right? Because they're not happy with the negotiating tactics that's happening. So is there going to be peace? You decide. Both sides already laying things down. Let's move on. Now, let's get back to these tariffs, trade wars. We seen last week the trade wars. What did that lead to? Great Depression, all kind of problems, higher prices, inflationary issues. Now the Trump, remember last week he said, oh, there could be some pain. Now he's saying prices could go up. Trump admits tariffs might worsen inflation. Remember when he was campaigning, he said it won't hurt inflation. It's not going to be our problem. It's going to be theirs. Don't worry. So he lied about that. Now he doubled back and saying, well, you know what? They could go up. Remember I played that video of him when he said, I try to tell the truth when I can. That only shows you, man, the white man is the devil for real. He tries to tell the truth when he can. Like, what's holding you back? So now he's admitting that these tariffs that he's, threatening the whole world with might worsen inflation, as if we don't already have a problem with inflation. Is anybody going out there spending, $9 to $12 on eggs now? You hear them talking about the beef shortages coming up. They're constantly coming up with all these damn food recalls. So, who knows what's going on with the food supplies? Are they engineering a food collapse in a famine? with all the issues going on with the food supplies and the poisoning of the food and everything else, so that they can come back and say, "Hey, we've engineered some new food for you guys to eat. You don't have to worry about this and that being in there anymore. We're controlling that. Oh, we own the farmlands now." So the chump, I should say, he's finally admitting that these tariffs aren't always going to be a one-sided deal. Remember that was his whole promise. Oh, the tariffs is not going to hurt you. You're going to be fine. We're going to profit off of this. America's going to be great again. We're going to get these companies and the countries that's been living high off the hog and draining America for all its resources. Now we're hearing the truth. Prices are going to go up. Inflation is going to be worse because if he's taxing all of these countries for their imports, they're going to say, "Well, we're going to have to boost up the import, the people that are the companies that are receiving these imports that are paying more for them now because of these tariffs. They got to get it back somehow. It's going to come out the pockets of you and I." President Trump admitted that the sweeping tariffs his administration is implementing might temporarily drive up prices during a press conference in the Oval Office on Thursday. Asked if consumers should expect prices to go up, Trump initially replied, "Not necessarily," before arguing that what will go up is jobs. Stop it. He's claiming there's going to be a big job influx. We've seen under the slow Biden's campaign all the fake numbers, fake jobs, over 800,000 that they lied about. They cook the books all the time. Oh yeah, you're going to get more jobs because I'm going to tax the heck out of these other countries. How's that going to create jobs? He's saying, "Oh well, we're going to make them build and establish their businesses here in America. That's going to give you jobs." How long before these companies can transition and get buildings and companies over here? Uh, yeah, you're right, Bayan. I know a few people hours getting cut. So yeah, give me a break. Talking about they going. How long you think it's going to take for them to reestablish a whole new business over here? All these multinational companies got to find commercial areas over here, build up and establish they whole system. That could take a few years. Who knows? Could take a year. I don't know. And what if they say no? We're not going to build a. I'm not taking my business from China over there. I'm not taking my business from Japan over there. But Canada, Mexico. We're not building over there. That 30-day tariff pause on Canada and Mexico, that's going to be coming up pretty soon. We'll see if that got negotiated, how that's going to work out. So now you're hearing them start to tell the truth now. Remember, when he's speaking fair, you know how that go. Yeah, y'all see everybody in there saying that all the glitters ain't gold. People, I was getting cut, working multiple jobs. I mean, this is what is the future of what's happening in America, man, for real. He's talking about, oh, I'm gonna get you more jobs. Don't worry. But before that happens, your prices are gonna go up. Inflation, your value of your dollar's gonna go up. This is why you're seeing gold prices is booming right now. Silver slowly but surely creeping. Silver is the dark horse in the race. They're trying to suppress silver as much as they can, but they can't help it because when gold go up, silver go up, the precious metal markets go up. You see what's happening over there in Great Britain. They can't. They running low on gold. They can't get no gold going on over there. They losing out on their promises. People that have investments in gold, they trying to cash out. They can't get it. Now look what he says. I think what's going to go up is jobs are going to go up. Remember, he thinks that's what's going to happen. And prices could go up somewhat short term, but prices will also go down. And I think the farmers are going to be helped. Really? Oh, okay. He said he thinks the farmers are going to be helped. He thinks jobs are going to go up, and prices could go up somewhat for the short term, but they're going to come down. And the farmers are going to benefit from this, right? Okay. We'll see about that in a minute. China imposes retaliatory tariffs on $14 billion worth of U.S. goods. So, America's already paying the price. China, came back with their trade war. $14 billion retaliatory tariffs. That's going to come down the pipeline for all of the things that America gets from China, from the cars to the tech to the parts to all that other stuff. Look at this. China's imposed retaliatory tariffs on the U.S., hitting about $14 billion of goods and dashing hopes that a trade war between the world's two largest economies could be avoided. Beijing announced the tariffs last week in response to a U.S. decision to impose an additional 10% levy on Chinese products, which the U.S. President Donald Trump called a, quote, opening salvo in a renewed trade offensive against China. Compared with the blanket U.S. tariff, China's measures, which targets U.S. exports of liquefied natural gas, coal, crude oil, and farm equipment, as well as some automotive goods with levies of 10% to 15%, were seen as creating space for negotiation to avert a wide trade conflict. So we're seeing some of the things that's coming from over there that they taxing $14 billion worth of goods. And guess what? He was right. Oh, trade, money's coming up. Prices are going to go up. EU breaks the silence on Donald Trump tariffs and threatens a full-blown trade war. So the European Union, we've seen them 10 horns, hating the whore, starting with trade wars, monetary wars, before the possibility of a global physical conflict. Remember, we're just documenting and seeing and tracking where and how is going to incite the spirit that's going to make the 10 horns hate the whore. Now we're seeing some of these things, right? EU has issued a blistering statement, hitting out at Donald Trump's threat to impose a huge 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports into the U.S. The levy will essentially mean a tax on the vital manufacturing materials, which could massively impact producers in the UK, Europe, as well as American neighbors, Mexico and Canada. The first statement from the European Commission called any move to impose tariffs, quote, unlawful and economically counterproductive. Mr. Trump made the startling announcement as he flew to the Super Bowl American football final in New Orleans on Air Force One. Right. He said, speaking of reporters, he said any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff. Well, that's about aluminum. He added aluminum too. So the steel industry, Biden and all them shut all that down here. There's not a lot of production of steel and aluminum going on over here. The steel plants and all that other stuff, man, that's high and dry in America because they were getting it cheaper overseas. And now the Trump is like, oh, hold on. They've been, getting over on us. Let's tax them. So what's that going to do for the industries that need steel, aluminum? You're talking from airlines, planes, trains, automobiles, commercial buildings, you name it. Weapons, all that stuff is essential. And now he's saying, we're going to tax you on it. And they're saying, oh, really? That's going to create a trade war. We're going to see if you even get this stuff anymore. Trump orders thousands of IRS agents to be sent to the southern border to remove illegal migrants. That's interesting. They arming up the, they already got the IRS who performs those, raids on businesses and homes for tax purposes. Now he's saying, well, you know what? We can use you down at the border. And, they ain't signed up for that. They signed up to go over there, man, and shake down places for audits and this, that, and the third. Now you got to go down there. You might have to be battling the cartel. You seen they was already shooting at Border Patrol agents. I think I seen a story they were talking about. They found some explosive materials down there by the border, drones, all kind of stuff. And now he's saying, look, we need you to go down there too, right? So that war is expanding. But look at this. Trump planning on around 9,000 layoffs of a bloated IRS. Redundancies are already underway. So he's saying, I want the armed ones to enforce my will, but the ones who's pencil pushing we can get rid of them. Now, for some, you may say, man, hallelujah. Cool, because I got problems with the IRS. My taxes, that could be a good thing. They're going through, they're purging the IRS right now. I know for a fact this is going down. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. But I know people is getting in that office are getting notices and being told you got till September. Take the deal, take the severance pay, and get up out of here. We'll pay you 7 months, or either way, we're doing budget cuts. We're laying off. You want to stick around and still get some more checks? Go ahead, but them layoffs is coming soon. They're starting off right now with people that's just new hires and in training. 9,000 gone. He wants the ones who's strapped. they can stick around. Look at this. IRS is the latest federal agency likely to face major job cuts. And some may say, hey, he's draining the swamp. Corruption going on in the IRS. Maybe so. However, the question is again, what's the replacement? According to a report from Washington Post, the Trump administration is planning around 9,000 job cuts at the agency, specifically targeting employees who are still on their probation period. So this is the people who were just newly hired, trying to get the job. Can you imagine? You're so happy, man. I finally got in. Got into the IRS federal job. I get retirement plan. I'm getting my pension lined up. This, that, and the third. I can't wait. Went to school. Got my accounting degree, and get up in there, man. You got handed your notice. You're out of here. Cold business. Now, even outside of that, I believe they said, man, already like 70,000 people then took the deal. So the 9,000 is just the new hires. It's like 70,000 is already taking the severance package and say, we're okay, we're out of here then. The Trump administration is expected to begin laying off thousands of employees at the IRS. 6 people briefed on the matter said billionaire Elon Musk team begins to target tax collections. Now, some of us may say that's a good thing. Hey, cool. The chump says no taxes on tips, overtime, and some more stuff. That's where the danger is. They got the carrot on the string. They tickle you with a feather. You understand what I'm saying? To make it seem like, oh, this is good. This is great. But then meanwhile, there's a trap door, that's waiting for you as you walk on in. Treasury officials have discussed laying off roughly 9,000 employees still in their probationary periods as part of a broader dismissal across the government of these recently hired workers, according to the 6 people who requested anonymity to speak about the internal conversations. So he's in there, supposedly draining the swamp. I mean, these are new hires. How are they part of the swamp? They just got in there. Look, Obama judge temporarily blocks Musk's Doe's assessment to important Treasury Department payment system. Orders an immediate destruction of all data obtained since Trump's inauguration. Musk responds, ruling with fire. So is this Doe's department is running through all of these federal agencies, man, purging out records, discovering misappropriated funds and all this other stuff. Yeah, they're exposing all the corruption so they can input their own. And it appears as though it's a good work. Hey, look what we found. Hey, look at this. Here, hold on to that. It's just like, some corrupt cops, man, do a raid on a drug spot. They find some money. Look at the bus, man. Yeah, you got the drugs. Yeah, look at all the drugs. We busted the drugs. How much you got in cash? Couple of cops say 100,000, but when they report it, it's actually reported as 75,000. Yeah, we found 75,000. Excuse me, 75. You sure? And the 2 cops looking at each other like, shh, don't say nothing. This is what they doing. Oh yeah, well look what we found. And they're preparing to, reinstitute it with a whole nother form of oppression and wickedness. So CNN on Saturday reported on Saturday that a federal judge halted Elon Musk's government efficiency team from accessing a critical Treasury Department U.S. District Judge Paul A. Engelmayer, who Barack Obama cited a risk of irreparable harm. Yeah, because they wanted to be able to have access to all of this information. Look, the order stops access to a sensitive payment system that distributes Americans' tax returns, Social Security benefits, disability payments, and federal employee salaries. So he just put a temporary pause on Elon Musk and Doge having the access to all of this information, all the payment systems coming through federal system. They want in, which means access to people's Social Security numbers, your benefits, disability. As soon as they get over to any of these federal payments that's going on out there, wait till they get to the EBT. Wait till they get to the Section 8 and they start going through that stuff and catching. Jake gonna lose their damn mind. When them checks coming up short, or you ain't getting them no more. Once they get their claws on that, it's gonna be a problem. See, this is why he wants access to the payment systems. Remember, we talked about this all along. This is from the WEF. Now, mind you, the chump is supposedly anti World Health Organization, this, that, and the third. But the WEF, they lay out the blueprint. Esau's fight to the top to see who can implement a digital ID. Now, over here, you see the headline, Elon Musk's X strikes payment deals with Visa in a push towards everything app goal. So we see he's already pro one-stop shop, everything in one, everything app goal. Hello, digital ID, one way, one payment, one method of transaction, one method of ID. He's pro all of that because that's what he instituted on his X through Visa. Everything app, right? So now if he wants access to federal payment systems, where's his thinking on how to reconstruct it? You follow? That's what I'm saying. We can, Edomites run around here. Yeah, Trump's making good on his promise, and look what he's doing. He's purging, he's draining the swamp. Yeah, there's going to be new creatures that come up in that mug, though. That's what I'm talking about. What's the replacement, though? They ain't talking about that. How are they going to reconstruct the whole thing? They tearing it down, yeah. But the reconstruction is what everybody need to be concerned about. One way. Huh? A marked system. You know what I'm talking about. A marked system. Hello? Digital ID. All encompasses every aspect of your life. And this guy is pro technology, pro AI, pro one stop shop for everything. Starlink. He's got the technology to intertwine everything in one. I seen, what was it? I just seen a commercial not too long ago. They were talking about cell phones now are in cooperation with Starlink. I think it was T-Mobile. I'm not sure who else. Who was it? Let me see. Anybody else seen that commercial? They were talking about you can try Starlink for free with your T-Mobile. Was it T-Mobile? Yeah, see that? T-Mobile, Starlink. These are the phones that work with T-Mobile cellular Starlink service. Yeah, he's trying to intertwine everything. People got them damn Obama phones. They lining it all up, man. Lining it all up. You see it. And this is what happens. When they get to purging and trying to get everybody on board. This is what I'm saying. What's next? What are they going to do? He's roaring through. Proverbs 19:12. The king's wrath is as a roaring lion, but his favor is as a dew upon the grass. See, this is why everybody's looking to pucker up. And brown nose, they want his favor. so they can receive some of the dew, they can receive some of the nutrient, they can receive some of the benefits so they can grow and they can maintain it. They ain't getting shut down. But he's roaring through like a lion, man. Hey, Elon over here, go over there. JD, you over there. I'm going over here. We Cash Patel, we're gonna shut this thing down. JFK. You feel me? So this is what he's out here doing, roaring like a lion, stomping on everything. We seen last week, Revelation 14, where it says that he made all the nations drink of the wrath of his fornication, made them roaring lion, and they're bowing down, seeking his favor. So this is the implementation that we're seeing, the makings of them coming with a whole new way of life. And he got the damn brainiac brainchild over here ready to go. Trump administration targets more than 5,000 NIH CDC bureaucrats to be laid off. So he's even hitting the NIH. Frankenstein Fauci. His former employee, the National Institute of Health. Same ones that ran around there and had everybody under duress, mandating pokes in the arm and the whole, and this is what's so cold, man, is because, again, I got to stand on truth when truth is there. See, this is what's so deceptive and where we got to be careful, because he'll do something like this. President Trump signs an executive order banning the COVID-19 vaccine mandates in schools that receive federal funding. So look at it.
It prohibits federal funding for COVID-19 mandates, vaccine mandates in schools.
Okay, and that will meaning they want to clear that up, the discrepancy.
So any schools that require students to be vaccinated with COVID-19 shot, then there's no more federal funding. So.
Okay.
Now, did you hear that? Now, anybody who's been on the campaign that was, had some issues with the health orders that was put out there from 2020 to 2023, and then moving forward with these mandates, they would sit back and smile and say, man, good, finally. He's clamping down on the schools, man. Hey, look, if you telling me I can't enroll and I can't come back to my school unless I got poked in my arm, he's saying, well, if any school's saying that, I'm cutting their funds off. So most people who didn't want to comply with that would be like, yeah, that's right. Now I give him credit. That's a good thing. However, the devil's in the details. Remember, he's standing behind backing a new mRNA jab for the bird flu. So he's not against the technology. He's not against getting poked up in the arm. He's trying to pose as, because now the threat has already been exposed. Everybody see what's going on. Ain't nobody falling for that no more. So it's not like he's really came in and did some radical thing. All he's doing is admitting the obvious. You don't need that to continue on in life, to continue getting an education. You don't need to get poked in the arm for that. Stop it. So he's stating the obvious, but now he's going to look like, oh, Trump going in there, shaking things up. Okay. Meanwhile, he's still okay with, them researching new experimental pokes for the bird flu and anything else.
Okay, that solves that problem.
This first executive order,
There you go. Right. So now he's running through purging out some of these, some of the warlocks and the doctors and the experimental biologists and virologists in this little NIH situation, because it was already revealed they got caught up with the lab leaks and all the other stuff being headed up by Frankenstein Fauci, right? And the slow Biden gave him a pardon before he left and said, look, they're gonna come for you. Take this pardon, Now, even though they did that, man, I forgot which woman it was. One of them women in this cabinet was like, "Man, the hell with that pardon. We still coming after you." So Fauci's still under fire. They still might lock his butt up. But what good is it? I mean, the dude's like damn near 80 some odd years old. Like, who cares if he get locked up at this point? The damage is done. But mass firings coming in. IRS, NIH, CDC, they all getting hit. Now, he did get JFK up in there. JFK got some decent principles in regards to health, but at the same time, he a devil, so you can't go all in on that. Look at this. U.S. spy planes hunt for intel on Mexican drug cartel. The surveillance flights surge near the border. So there is looking at another border war they talking about. Remember, they were talking about going to war with the cartels. They got the spy planes and the drones going on down there, and vice versa. There's information that's coming out talking about some of the weapons that was supposed to go to Ukraine. They got them down there with the cartels. So, we're seeing some of this propaganda getting put out there that they acting like they, setting up war with the cartels and spy planes. Right. Now, look at this. Here's another one who wants to do. The one seeking the favor, he wanted to do it like the dew in the grass. Eric Adams. Remember Eric Adams? He was facing corruption charges, man. They was on his head. And all of a sudden, once he started smooching up to the Agent Orange, man, and stepping out on the immigration and everything else, all of a sudden that whole corruption charge went away. But look at the headline though. Tom Homan, the border czar for the Trump. Look what he told Eric Adams. Trump's border czar tells NYC mayor he'll be, quote, up his, for you youngsters out there, you know what I'm talking about, pause. All right. He'll be up his butt if he breaks vow to help ICE. See, he had to come to a covenantal vow agreement and said, look, boss, if you get me out this corruption charge, man, I'll do whatever you tell me. I'll do whatever it takes, man. And they returned back and said, if you don't, we're going to be up your. Now, why say up your rather than, for us, we'll say we're going to be on your $. We're going to be on your bumper. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's how we would say it. Esau says up your. I mean, that's the side of my nature, this guy, man. Unbelievable. And he probably literally means that. So Eric Adams, man, scared of being sodomized, man. He's going to fall in line. So the corruption charges disappear, and now we see the ultimatum. You're going to help ICE. You're going to get rid of all them brown people, man, over there, man. You're going to be a slave to the system. And he was already cooning out there, man, at the LGBTQ, parades and doing everything else. But then when they got on his head and the corruption charges coming in, he needed the lifeline. Negotiated a little deal, made a vow, said, I'll do whatever it takes, boss. Get him up off me, master. So, and they was live together, and he told him face to his face, you better get it together, man, or we're gonna be up your Esau, man, something else. Tom Homan and Eric Adams appeared in the TV interview a day after federal prosecutors resigned in protest over an order to drop corruption charges against the mayor. On the same day, the Justice Department was hit with a wave of resignations over an order to drop corruption charges against Eric Adams. The New York City mayor met with President Donald Trump's border czar in a closed-door meeting. So when the prosecutors and the Justice Department, man, they all started resigning when they were told drop the corruption charges against Mayor Adams. They couldn't believe it. They was like, what? We got a seal tight case on this cat, man. What are you talking about? Drop it. Drop it. The big man spoken, man. Agent Orange and through a lifeline, man, sent the whole man down here. Whole man says, Eric, I'm going to be up your butt. Can't even say. Oh, my goodness. Esau said he's going to be up his. Unbelievable. Okay. Now, so the Justice Department, man, I think it was like 7 of them. They all resigned and quit because they see the corruption. That they're in the midst of trying to fight corruption, get impacted with more corruption, and they said we can't win for losing, man. We're out of here. This is what we're talking about, that the system is rigged. This is what we're talking about, that the system is a problem, because now when you see Justice Department attorneys and officials resigning because they see you can't beat a corrupt system, we might as well just throw the towel in. That's what it is. That's the plight of Blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, man, since we've been in this country. We're seeing it all the time. Like, there's no stopping this thing. The problem is with the system. You can't talk about, oh, there's some good cops out there, there's some good DAs, there's some good. The system is the problem. The mayor who's under intense pressure from the Trump administration as his criminal case hangs in the balance agreed in the meeting Thursday to allow federal immigration officials to operate at the city's Rikers Island jail. Look at that. He's under intense pressure. Made a deal with the devil. I came to New York City and I wasn't going to leave with nothing, Tom Homan, Trump's border czar, said Friday morning in a joint interview with Adams on Fox and Friends. He told me, I'm leaving with something. I'm leaving with them cheeks, Eric Adams. Bend over. If you don't do right, man, no Vaseline. How about that? Oh, this ain't Friday Night Lights, man. Let me slow down. Let me slow down, y'all. All right. Let me get up off of Eric Adams. But you see how they operate, man. That roaring lion, the king coming in, and then guess what? Those seeking his favor, they want to do like the grass, man. Give me a reprieve. Give me a little slack, man. What do I need to do? And Eric Adams made that deal. Military drops recruiting efforts at a prestigious Black Engineering Awards event. Now, Shalak, if you still listening, I think this is what I know you sent me that video of the brother that was talking about. Do you know Trump? See, this is what, and Jay's got to be careful too. I'm not talking about you in particular, Shalak. I'm talking about just in general. You got to be careful of these TikTokers and people, running on the internet, because they come out here with information that's off. RFK, Shalak, not JFK. There was a video, man, a brother sent, and it had a Jake on there, and he was talking about, did you hear Donald Trump has now said that he's going to stop all recruiting efforts for Blacks in the military? Yeah, he don't want us in the army no more. And, he went on this whole tirade. And I told Shalak, I was like, this don't sound right. I think the brother got the information twisted. The military dropped recruiting efforts for Black engineers, not for soldiers, not for recruitment for war and this, that, and the third. Right? Now, blaming it on DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, saying it was almost like a system of affirmative action. Like, I don't want to just single out and have to go to these Black engineers, which is cool. Let them Black engineers take their talents over to the good side with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, quit serving your damn industry, quit serving your master, offering your talents and your technology and your mathematics experiences and your brains, and giving it to the damn enemy and the devil, man. Good. Stop recruiting our people, man. And our people need to stop looking to them as a damn savior, saying, well, I'm going to these schools and I'm in these STEM programs so that I can go help masters. Good. Leave us alone. Lord willing, they can take them things back to the nation, man, and we can utilize some things for our own benefits. That's what he's stopping them getting recruited for military purposes, not soldiers, man. The dude made that video, he was off. And went on this whole tirade talking about all this other stuff. Even if that was the case, good. Stop fighting for his ass anyway. Stop fighting for his army anyway. But that wasn't the case. He didn't have the right information. But got a gang of views. So this will be tripping me out. Anyway, the Army and other service branches are abandoning recruiting efforts at a prestigious Black engineering event this week. Hello, that's what he's talking about. Black engineering event, not about Black people not getting ready to join the military. This week, turning down access to a key pool of highly qualified potential applicants amid President Donald Trump's purge of diversity initiatives in the military. Until this week, Army Recruiting Command had a longstanding public partnership with Black Engineer of the Year Awards, or BEYA, an annual conference that draws students, academics, and professionals in science, technology, engineering, and math, also known as STEM. The event, which takes place in Baltimore, has historically been a key venue for the Pentagon to recruit talent, including awarding reserve officers, training corps, scholarships, and pitching military service to rising engineers. Past BEYA events have included the Army Chief of Staff and the Defense Secretary. So they want the brainiacs of our people. They want the engineers. They offering them scholarships and all of that. Now Trump is saying, You said you've seen a lot of these vids. Clickbait at its finest. I'm also guilty of watching it. Yeah, it's not the fact you're watching them. You just got to know if the information is right. When I seen, I was like, what? No. And I knew I had this article, and I was like, I didn't put two and two together at the time. And I was like, is that what he's talking about? Is this something different? I'm looking for stuff like, where is he saying he don't want Black people in the Army no more? And I'm like, I don't find nothing. It had to be this, that people was misconstruing. But that's what happens. People, you know how it goes with communication. Somebody says one thing, and in times past, in soldier programs and stuff like that, we would do them exercises. Say one thing to one person, give a description of somebody, all kind of stuff, and keep passing that and tell them. Now tell your neighbor, tell your neighbor, tell your neighbor, tell your neighbor. By the time it comes back, the description is wrong, information wrong, and that's what happens because details get missing, people don't pay attention, and before you know it, the whole story done changed. So somebody probably seen this and read this and interpreted that as they don't want Blacks in the Army no more. And all of the spread the word, and everybody runs out there. Everybody runs out there. You dig? And that's what it is. So moving on. It says farmers are on the hook for millions after Trump freezes USDA funds. Do you see that? I'll say you remember that. We gotta see, Naquab. We'll see about that, man. Trying to get it maybe get it back going again. We'll see. Remember, Trump said that the farmers were going to benefit from the tariffs and everything. Didn't he say that? Now look at it. Farmers are on the hook for millions after Trump freezes USDA funds. See that? So he takes one thing and then you're going to get hit on the back end with something else. Farmers report missing millions of dollars of funding they were promised by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, despite promises from Trump administration that a federal funding freeze would not apply to projects directly benefiting individuals. So remember, he put a freeze on a lot of federal funding programs. And now the farmers are realizing they ain't getting their money to continue on with their farming. And they're out and on the hook for millions of dollars. As he just lied and said that the farmers are going to benefit from the tariffs and everything else. Don't worry. Everything's going to be great. Tell them after they're already millions of dollars in debt. Tell them after, the AI is coming in to replace them and the autonomous tractor trailers and the equipment comes in and replace them. Tell that to Bill Gates, who's buying up all the farmland. See, these guys be lying. And that's it all the time. All the time. The planes are still going down, man. I mean, we just had this with what was it, a couple of years ago with was it United? What was that airline that was having all them damn issues with the planes and they was buying bootleg parts from overseas? And I mean, we're back on that again, but it's not directing towards one particular airline. It's happening all over the place. We've been seeing all these plane crashes, helicopters colliding with planes for the past 3 weeks. It's continuing. Plane owned by Motley Crue, Vince Neil crashes at Scottsdale Airport. 1 dead, 3 hurt. Rough and scary. Budget airline forced to make an emergency stop after a pilot collapses. Who knew what happened to him? You know, remember that guy over there, where was he, in Oregon or somewhere, where he took the plane and was on all kind of drugs and was going to crash the plane? And they're giving him, they damn near giving him probation. Damn near giving him probation. The guy that got the plane was all hyped up on drugs and try to commit mass murder and crash the plane before they stopped him. Remember that last year? Rough and scary. Budget airline is forced to make an emergency stop after the pilot collapse. U.S. Navy fighter jet crashes near Shelter Island while attempting to land. I mean, what is going on? This is down by San Diego. Unreal. That's 3 just in this week. You had some more last week. The week before that, you had the one in Washington, D.C. Something weird is going on with these planes, man. I don't know what it is, but I'm documenting. I'm sharing with y'all. More food recalls. More food recalls. Massive recall for popular product at Trader Joe's, Costco's, and Walmart over fatal food poisoning risk. What are we talking about, IQ? Oh, the voluntary recall includes H-E-B and Trader Joe's label canned tuna, as well as Genova and Van Camp's brand canned tuna. If you bought Van Camp, Genova, Trader Joe's, H-E-B tuna, I don't care if it's albacore, whatever, food poisoning is at risk. Here they go, poisoning the damn food supply again. Here they go. Trader Joe's, Costco's, Walmart's, right? And they just did a recall on some coolers. I forgot out of which stores they were. Food coolers, like igloo type coolers. There's something going on with the damn plastics on that. Poisonous. So the manufacturing of engineered famine looks like, is really going down, man. It's like every week there's some food recall, something you can't eat, something's going down, right? So tuna on deck. San Andreas fault fears after 4th California earthquake, 24 hours. I mean, there's small quakes, but could they ignite the San Andreas? We don't know. But little earthquakes in San Bernardino, Riverside, Hesperia, Victorville, all within 24 hours, right? So we're on alert for that over here. LA fires left us homeless. Look at this. People want to know what's going on with these fires. Is it still newsworthy? Yeah. Because look at what they're doing. LA fires left us homeless. Now we're being forced to move before America's Got Talent auditions. They moved a lot of people in Pasadena to the Pasadena Convention Center. Temporarily. They got 2,000 people down there. And guess what they say? Hey, the auditions for America's Got Talent, we need this facility. Y'all got to go. Can you imagine? Hollywood takes greater precedence, man. Hey, we need to get these auditions cracking over here, man. We got this spot reserved, and we got some award show coming up too. We need a Civic Center, man. 2,000 of y'all got to go. America's Got Talent takes precedence over that. Mind you, they're saying we'll find you a new place. We got another little shelter we got to find for y'all, but this one, y'all got to go. That's what's going on here. Unbelievable. Look at this. Donald Trump demands Reuters return $9 million payment from the Pentagon for social deception study. Oh, is it a study or were they actually doing it? What does this translate to? They had invested $9 million for social deception practices, not no study. Look into Operation Mockingbird. How do they influence the media? How do they become the mouth of the beast? Through social deceptions. And they were spending $9 million on it, utilizing Reuters and other publications and media outlets to practice social deception. And the chump, to his credit, came in and said, cut the funding. I see what y'all over here doing. Why is he doing that? Because many of the times they were using these same tactics against him. So now he's saying, oh, hell no, y'all been out here slandering me, you're fake news and all that. And now he's saying there was money behind that. So he cut that. But it only goes to show you, man. So that, and really, he's just going to implement his own mouth of the dragon, lies in there. Right. But it just goes to show you, man, they're doing social deception. They're doing social experimentation. They got Mockingbird Media out there, man, that's paid off to run fake news, disinformation. Right. That's Big Brother, man. The Ministry of Truth. You dig what I'm saying? That's exactly what was being set up, and they're going to continue it. He's just cutting out the funding and getting rid of the people that were doing it against him, and he's going to put some people in there that's going to do it for him. Look at this. Cuba tells non-essential workers, students to stay home in its latest blackout. So Cuba's still going through hell. They got a blackout going on, man. Power down. They're telling people, man, if you're not an essential worker, man, stay home. We can't afford to have you out here trying to drain any energy that we got. Cuba's going down in flames, man. But this is what happens, man, when you go against the beast, man. They cut you off. And then Cuba thinking, oh, Russia's got my back. China got my back. I can't tell. They've been starving over there. They still driving cars from the 50s over there. They got numerous blackouts every other month. Look, Cuba closed schools and told non-essential workers to stay home on Friday as the electrical grid faltered following the failure of a major power plant, causing widespread blackouts across the crisis-ridden island. This is the Lord's people over there primarily. I mean, there's a lot of small hats over there too, and some other, infiltrations of Spaniards, but a lot of our people is over there, man. That's why they got to repent and get right, because the Lord ain't done, See, look at this. Dwindling oil imports from Venezuela, Russia, and Mexico last year pushed the island's obsolete and struggling oil-fired power plants into full crisis. So Venezuela's getting, they cut them down, saying we need it. Russia saying we got our own problems. Mexico, we're getting hit with tariffs. We can't mess with you. Cuba's in trouble. But long story short, man, we see a lot going on in the earth, man. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High. IQAhmath. Another thing before we close out, I did remind y'all that there is the dropping of the calendar, right? The Holy Feast Day calendar. If you have not seen it as of yet, do yourself that solid. Let me share my screen one more time. And let me share with y'all. It is on the community post. If you have not seen it yet, I did make a post last weekend. Let's see, where am I at? I did make a post last weekend with the link for the where's my thing at? For the calendar, right? Here we go down here. So if you go on your YouTube, you see community, you will see this post that was made here, right? And you'll see on here, on the community tab, where you'll see the link for the calendar. So all you need to do is copy and paste it. You copy it, you paste it in your browser, and you should see the calendar. All right. For anybody who has not gotten their link yet or the copy, that's how you do it. It will also be in the description of the video. So you say, where's the description at? I don't know what that is. Okay, no problem. When you look on the video, let me back up one more time. When you look at a video, right? Let's just open this one. Let's just look at let's just look at John 3:16. My son did. or it's not there yet. But when you scroll down on the video, you'll see, well, this ain't a good one because it doesn't have it on there. But most of y'all are pretty keen on YouTube. Might be just saying this for no reason. Anyway, when you look at a description tab on the video, there'll be more information regarding the content of the video, any hashtags, any other information you want regarding the channel. You'll see that information. In times past, it's always been put in the description field for further information. You'll see all this information here, right? See, last year we had, get your copy of the calendar, you copy and paste it, you got it. You see the Cash App, you see backup channels that we got, so forth and so on. So that's how you will find the calendar. It will always be in the description of our videos for a downloadable link, or copy and paste if you can't click it and download it. But here you see it here. Okay, so you can have it and you're maintaining the order of the feast. This also will let you know March 28th will be a bib. That's the new year. That's the first new moon of our year. Make sure you mark that down. Passover will begin April 11th at sundown. All these dates are sundown orientated. All right. So you have all the new moon dates, all the feast day dates, all the way up until next year of 2026. All right. So I wanted to make sure everybody had access to that, and you're knowledgeable and aware of the convocational days. That's mandatory for the children of Israel to keep in alignment with our laws. All right. So that would be it. Lord willing, everybody was able to follow along with that. If you got any questions regarding dates, Passover, etc., you know how to reach us. The covenant144@gmail.com. Some of y'all got my number. You got the Instagram. You know how to get at us. Any questions regarding that? If you're having problems with the link, whatever, let it be known. We'll make sure that you got access to it. Very important, man. Stay on point with the convocational laws of the Most High and be in observance of those. All right. So with that being said, I believe that is it for me. All right. Closing Shabbat class coming up 3:00 Pacific Standard Time, man. Y'all tune in with us. Lord willing, the Spirit moves you, do so immediately, man. Tune in live with us, man. Go with us live. If you can't, catch us on the rebound, man. But continually support the channel, support the good works of all of Israel out there, man. Fearing the Most High, keeping the commandments, doing what they need to do, man, and wake up these lost sheep. Prayerfully, everybody got some edification today, and we'll continue to do so. Lord willing, y'all have a blessed Shabbat, and that's it, man. Always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments. Don't shoot the messenger. Shalom.